Hi, everybody. My name is Cynthia Kane, and I am the Librarian Liaison for Counselor Education, Psychology, and the School of Library and Information Management. In this video, I'm going to show you the basics of searching a research database that we have through the library called PsycINFO. And PsycINFO tends to be the go-to database for anything dealing with psychology and related disciplines. It also has a lot of peer-reviewed journal articles, many of which will be in full text. I'm also going to show you in this video how to see if the library has a particular article if it doesn't appear immediately full text in the PsycINFO database. So the first thing we're going to do is go to the library's webpage, emporia.edu/library. And you may want to bookmark this on your computer or add it to your favorites. This is the fastest way of getting to the library's webpage. And at our webpage, you're going to see some information about the library. This chat box here, if it is available, is a way of chatting directly with a librarian or with a library graduate assistant. Now, this is not a good place to ask in-depth research questions because sometimes what you need to do is contact a librarian directly, such as me, and I'll make sure that you have my contact information as well in this video. But the chat feature can be a very good place to go if you need quick information such as library hours, if the library has access to a particular book or a particular journal article. So it's good for those types of questions. We're going to go over here to the databases link. And if you're not ever sure which particular databases we have for a subject or a discipline, you can click on all subjects and scroll down to the area that would match your information need most closely. We're going to go to psychology. And over here, you'll see my contact information. You can always call me at 620-341-5480, or you can email me at ckane1@emporia.edu, and I'd be happy to set up an appointment with you, either face-to-face or online. And when I scroll down, you'll see that I actually got to the PsycINFO database. We're going to go ahead and click on PsycINFO. Now, this is a screen that you will see whenever you're searching at home or any place else off campus. And all you have to do is enter your ESU username and password, just like you would for your email or for Canvas. And sometimes you have to enter that again. And there we are. So the first thing I always like to do in EBSCOHost is go over here and click on something called Sign In. EBSCOHost is actually the vendor or the provider of a database. So EBSCOHost is not a database in and of itself. It has a lot of different databases, including what we're in right now, the PsycINFO database. I like to go over here first and click on Sign In. Now, you don't have to do this, but to click and sign in to something called an EBSCOHost account will really wind up saving you time in the long run. An EBSCOHost account in any EBSCOHost database will let you save articles as you go along, and it will also let you save something called your search history. I'm going to show you that as well. Now, you can click on Sign In with Google, and you can sign in with your g.emporia.edu account. And as you can see, it says up here now I'm signed in as Cynthia. The second thing I always do in PsycINFO is click on Advanced Search. And an advanced search will let me do a lot of different limits with keywords that I cannot do on the previous screen with a basic search. So I always go up here and I say that I want to limit my keyword search as they would appear in the abstracts of items. What that means is that if I did not limit my search, Any keywords that I put in at this point could appear anywhere in the full text of articles, even if they don't really have any relationship to my topic or my information need. So if you've ever had situations in which you have a lot of results in the database, but they don't really seem to match what you're really looking for, more than likely it's because you're searching within the full text of articles. So if you ever have an opportunity or a choice to limit your keywords to the abstracts of your items, always go ahead and do that. Now down here, there are some other limits that I can do that are very unique to PsycINFO. So for example, I could say that I only want peer-reviewed journals, and often your professors will ask you to limit your search this way. That just simply means you're getting more scholarly journal articles than general magazines or general newsletters. Down here under age groups, again, this is rather unique to PsycINFO. If you know that you're doing research or perhaps you'd like to do a literature review on a particular age group, such as childhood, school age, middle age, aged, or even very old, you can limit your search that way as well. If you are dealing with experimental psychology, you may want to pick a population group. So I'm just going to go ahead and go with human. And down here under methodology, you may have instances in which your professors would like for you to limit to a specific methodology, such as an empirical study, or a literature review, or a meta-analysis, or a qualitative study or a quantitative study. And these can be very handy to narrow and focus your research a little bit more. I'm going to go back up here. And you see I just limited to peer-reviewed journal at this point, and I limited to human. I am not going to limit to linked full text at this point, and I will show you in a little bit why I actually didn't do that. So I have an interest in the idea of test anxiety. So I'm going to start typing in test anxiety. And I'd like to see the relationship of test anxiety to test performance. So I'm going to start typing in test performance. I'm going to pause here for just a second. See what's coming up here? Test performance or test outcomes or test score. And you see I do have some other possibilities here that I could search on, but I'm going to pick test performance or test outcomes or test score. Look for those particular synonyms when you start typing in your keywords into PsycINFO, because that can give you some ideas of searching that maybe you haven't thought of before. So we're going to go ahead and click on search. And you can see that I have quite a few references here. I have over 1,000. I would want to go back and limit a little bit more if I were doing this for a paper or for a project. So I could always change this third item or this third line to abstract. And I could add another keyword if I wanted, or I could go down here. And I didn't actually limit by age. So perhaps I might want to limit to young adulthood. So we're going to do that, and we're going to update that, and I'll show you what would happen. So look, I went from over 1,000 to 162. So you can see how those limits really do help whenever you're doing a search in the PsycINFO database. Now, as we scroll down here, we're going to notice that some of these do indeed have the PDF full text available. So if we click on PDF full text, this is where we can start using our EBSCOHost account, and you can also use another icon over here. There's an icon over on this side for Google Drive, and if I wanted to, I could save this article plus other articles or items to my Google Drive, and then I can access them later on. Or if I want to save them in a folder that would be in my EBSCOHost account, I can click here on Add to Folder. And I just added something to my folder for my information. This icon here for Cite will let you bring up a generated citation in various styles, such as APA styles. So there is a citation that's almost in APA style. Now here's the thing. You do need to proofread these references very, very carefully because they may not be correct. For example, see these dashes here between the initials of the people's names? I would actually want to get rid of those because those are not in correct APA style. So there may be some other things that would come over that would not be 100% correct. However, you can still go ahead and copy a citation or a reference, paste that in a working bibliography or a working references list, and it's easier to edit that way. So we'll go ahead and close out of this. Now I'm going to go over here and click on Result List. Notice that I am not clicking here on the back button. The reason that I am not doing that is that keep in mind I'm actually signed into a database right now. I'm not actually searching, freely on Google. And because of that, if I clicked on back, there's a good chance that my search may have timed out and I would have to start all over again. But if I click on Result List, I'm still within my database search and it will take me back directly to my list of results. And as you can see, I have a lot of other possibilities. Here are some that are still in full text or linked full text, but I also have some. Here's a good one. Just Breathe, the effects of emotional dysregulation and test anxiety on GPA. This sounds like it would be pretty interesting. Now notice though that there is not a link here for the PDF full text. So I'm going to go back up here. If you don't already have a tab open for the library's webpage, make sure you always keep an extra tab open. So this is a little hint that I can give you. The reason is that we are going to click on the full record for this article. And I would like to see if our library has this particular article maybe in another database or in another form. So I copied the title of the article. And now I'm going to go back over here to the library's webpage and I'm going to click on the Discovery Search Catalog, which links to books, but it will often also link to the full text of articles from a lot of different databases. And we're going to paste the title of the article. And we'll let that search. And I had some luck with this. This particular article was not available full text in PsycINFO, but it looks like it was available full text in another database. So I could click on the PDF full text here. And when this says login for full access, that just simply means that I need to log into the Discovery service. So don't be surprised if you see something like that. We'll go ahead and click on that and let it load. And it remembered my login. And then I could go over here to Google Drive and I could save it. I'm actually in another type of search now, so I could click here on sign in and sign into my EBSCOHost account again and save it that way if I wanted to. So again, don't give up hope just because you do not happen to see the full text immediately in the PsycINFO database. Now, let's click on Result List again. And I'm going to use this one up here as an example of one that we don't really have in any other form. So we don't have this one in the library. In this particular instance, I could click on Interlibrary Loan this item. And since we don't have this in the library, I can actually interlibrary loan this article. Notice that when I clicked on this, I was already logged in, so it actually went ahead and populated my form completely. If you've never used Interlibrary Loan before, you would actually get another screen before this one that would ask you to fill out information about yourself, and you only have to do that one time. But then after you do that, you can log in with your username and password. The interlibrary loan form will populate automatically, so you don't have to fill out anything else, which is nice. And then click on Submit Request. And we would wind up looking for this article from another library and send it to you as a PDF or a link to a PDF, and there's no charge for this. So don't ever give up hope just because you don't happen to find the full text immediately in the PsycINFO database. I told you that I was going to show you how to save your search history. So what we're going to do now is, again, remember I'm signed into my EBSCOHost account. for PsycINFO, I'm going to click on this link now called Search History. And you can see that my searches that I have done so far in this database have been saved. My first one, which was 1,045 results, and my second one, which wound up being 162 results. I would like to save this search because I don't necessarily have time right now to go through all of those results, but I don't want to have to go back to PsycINFO and remember what I actually put in. So when I highlighted my result number 2, and I click on Save Searches, I can name this Test Anxiety. And it's being saved in the PsycINFO database, so I'll click on Save. And the next time I go into PsycINFO, I can sign back into my folder, to my EBSCOHost account, and my saved search will be here. You can see that I've saved some others already, and I can go back and I can rerun that search, and it will start doing that search all over again. Here's one I did earlier on aromatherapy. So I'm going to click on that particular search, and I'm going to click on Retrieve Saved Search. And this is what this would look like if you went back in. And I'm going to rerun this search. And you can see this one had to do with scent or smell, and test performance or test outcomes or test score, and cognitive. And those are my results. So I didn't have to remember all of the different keywords that I put in right off the bat. When I go back up here to folder, this will show you what I clicked on, and I've only clicked on one so far in this search, but these are different ones that I've actually saved from previous searches, and those articles are all there until I decide to get rid of them. And I've been doing different searches, so you can see that I have different results. So that's another reason why you do want to create an EBSCOHost account right away with PsycINFO and make sure that you're signed in. And we'll go back over here to New Search. I hope that this has helped you on a quick overview of the PsycINFO database. Again, I'm Cynthia Kane, and you can contact me at ckane1@emporia.edu or at 620-341-5480. I would be happy to set up an appointment with you either face-to-face or online if you have any questions about using the PsycINFO database. Thank you.